Ladies and gentlemen, we'll call the October 8th meeting of the Caroline County Board of Supervisors to order. I've asked Mr. Taylor if he would deliver an invocation for us.
If we could stand, if we are physically able. Our Father in heaven, we come to Thee at this hour thanking Thee for all of Thy blessings. We come thanking Thee for this opportunity to meet and discuss that business which proves to benefit the citizens of Caroline County. Lord, we also ask at this hour a special blessing upon our congressional leaders and our administration. We ask that you would help them, Lord, to find a way to compromise and meet the needs of the citizens of this great nation. We ask that you would give us wisdom and guidance and help us to do those things that prove to be in the best interest of those people that we serve. These and all the blessings we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. At this time, I'm going to ask Corporal Ross, Lance Corporal Ross, and Private Ross, if they would come forward, please, and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. These are the young Marines from the area, and they are sharp.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And before we get started, to Mr. Ross, I want to say thank you for allowing us to use your children. I often try to search out young people in our audience to lead us in the pledge, and it serves personally. It's not a game, but it's very serious for me. It's a twofold purpose. One is to have young folks involved in government, to see that it's not something that's intimidating. And for me personally, it lets me know what we're really working for. Because a lot of things we do are for, our children and they're for the future. So I really do appreciate that. At this time, we're going to ask the county administrator if we have any amendments to the agenda.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. We would like to propose adding item 10A, authorization to advertise public hearing on proposed abandonment of a portion of Route 766. And it was included at your place.
We have that at our, but it wasn't on the agenda. We got that late. Okay, so 10A.
10A.
All righty, that's it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
We would appreciate a motion to amend the agenda. Again.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Seeley, seconded by Mr. Taylor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Opening board comments, Mr. Black.
Yeah, I have a few. First of all, I'd like to thank the residents of Lake Landor. Lake Landor held its first ever Pitmasters competition this past Saturday. They had 10 teams. It was actually a blast. They had competitions for ribs and shoulders. It was a great time, great event. Community got involved. I'd like to thank Beverly Copeland and Mr. Jim Rawson for holding that event. Second of all, I would like to announce that I'll be holding constituent meetings on Monday, October 28th at 7 p.m. at County Line Baptist Church, and also Wednesday, October 30th in the Lake Landor Clubhouse. And I'd like to say that all county residents are welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Seeley?
Mr. Chairman, I'd first like to just say what a great event Saturday was. I think the invitations were difficult to get. I found out by accident for the Bowling Green Elementary Playground ribbon cutting. I found out at the town council meeting on Thursday that was actually happening on Saturday. But nice event. The playground looks phenomenal. And secondly, Mr. Chairman, I would like to, under unfinished business, talk about the YMCA change orders.
Okay, that was a follow-up. If there's no objection, we'll make that 5A, or? Any others?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Underwood?
No comments, Mr. Chairman, at this time.
Mr. Akers?
None at this time.
Mr. Taylor?
Only that I would like to thank Mr. Kelly and Mr. Pardon for their participation in my constituents' meetings on Monday and Thursday night at Upper Caroline and at Port Royal. And also thanks to the citizens who came out with good meetings, and I appreciate the staff's participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Just one acknowledgement again. I attended the ceremony for Trooper Fox, who was killed last year at the state fair, directing traffic, and it was a very solemn event. But again, a dedication to all those who serve and protect and the things they do, and just wanted to extend our thanks to them again, and our condolences to the family. At this time, we'll go to presentations. If the librarian won't mind, I'm going to do the Young Marines first. So we'll be all prepped for your PowerPoint. Okay, so at this point in time, we have a resolution, adoption of a resolution proclaiming October 23rd through the 31st, 2013 as Red Ribbon Week. Obviously, you can tell I don't feel well because I can't talk. Mr. Seeley, I'm going to ask you to read the resolution, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. A resolution declaring October 23rd through October 31st, 2013, Red Ribbon Week in Caroline County, and honoring the Young Marine program. Whereas the Young Marine is a drug demand reduction program sponsored by the Marine Corps League. Membership is for children ages 8 to 18 or through the completion of high school. And whereas the Young Marine model is a program after Marine Corps' values of honor, courage, and commitment by focusing on teaching youth to live a drug-free lifestyle and teaching ideas such as leadership, teamwork, and discipline. Whereas the local branch of the Young Marines is named after Lance Corporal Caleb John Powers, a Marine from Fredericksburg who participated in the program and was killed in action in Iraq. And whereas Lance Corporal Caleb John Powers Young Marines participated in a promotion in promoting the National Red Ribbon Campaign. This is tough to read in the glare. Whereas each year the Young Marines sponsor a National Red Ribbon Week that gives individuals the opportunity to wear a red ribbon signifying their opposition to illegal drugs and use. And whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in every community in America during Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through the 31st. And whereas business, government, parents, law enforcement, media, medical institutions, religious institutions, schools, senior citizens, service organizations, and youth will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this week's long campaign. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Caroline County Board of Supervisors hereby proclaims October 23rd through 31st, 2013 as Red Ribbon Week in Caroline County. And be it therefore resolved that the board does hereby recognize and commend Lance Corporal Caleb John Powers Young's Marines and its commitment to live a drug-free life and participate in Red Ribbon Week. Adopted this 8th day of October 2013. Clerk of the Board, Mr. Charlie Cully. Chairman, Mr. Floyd Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Seeley. And now, again, if I could have the Young Marines come forward, up to the stage, and we will give you a rousing round of applause. The stage. And I suppose you'd like us to move. Thank you. I hope this works. Okay. Antiseptic, so I don't need cold. Thank you. All right, you guys stand right in the middle of that American flag. All right, come a little over here. One over here. Okay, there you guys go. Is that going to work for you, Mark? I'm going to get out of the way. You're taking their picture.
Okay. Just an inch to my right.
That would happen.
There we go. Just that. That's it. Just a little bit. There. Didn't want a flagpole. Okay. Nice smile right here. Just a small bit there. One more.
Okay, wait one. Well, do this one more. Mr. Ross, come on up here. They don't get that way all of a sudden by themselves. There's always some direction at home. Let him hold the camera or put the camera in one of the chairs. Now, you're what relation to these kids? You're the what?
Father.
He's the father of all those kids. He didn't say it loud enough. So one more with the father. Come on.
Okay. There. That's great. Get your hands up. That's good. Right
There you go.
All right. Nice smile. Okay. Let me get one more.
Smile.
And one more yet, and I'll let you go.
Wait, let me get this camera.
Oh, please don't fall. Please. Just call 911 for me.
All right. You all set, Mr. Stewart?
That wasn't good. Got it? All right. You good?
I got you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. We congratulate you. The rest of the board wants to shake your hand. I'm going to pass and take a rain check, okay?
I was putting it up there. That's what I was doing.
You take the seat. But I'll keep you open.
I've seen you.
Congratulations.
Great job on the kids. Thank God. Great job. I don't know that. Great job. All righty. Our next presentation will be Mrs. Dorosinski. Is that right this time? And she's got a PowerPoint to tell us about the library and what's going on at the library.
Oh, excellent. Well, hello? Yes. Thank you very, very much for having me. I am so excited, and even Fran can tell you she has had to stop me before the meeting and say, okay, calm down, calm down. I got to tell you, I honestly believe that this is where I was meant to be. And I want to just thank you for giving me the chance to be your library director and do what I can for the citizens of Caroline County. Every day, I wake up excited to come to work. And it's not work. I mean, this is a dream for me. And you may, if you're in the county offices at the same time I have, you may have heard me say this, but I'm going to say it again, because the more I say it, the more it honestly comes true. Every day, I have a plan. Every day, the plan collapses. But I have to say honestly, every day it turns out better. And that keeps happening. And I never expect that to stop. All right, so I would like to show you what's been happening in the library. Fabulous things, and free, at your library. Well, we have a bookmobile, you may know. You may not know that it reaches over 200 children and students weekly. And they've revitalized it this term with over 500 new titles. It goes to daycares. Hold on. Yep, see, there's that excitement. Okay, they hit the Head Start program, the old Bowling Green Elementary School, Miss Allison's Daycare, Wright's Chapel United Methodist Church, Countryside Children's Daycare, and Caroline High's special education students. If you go to our website, carolinelibrary.org, I have put on a few neat features and really brightened it up. Here's just a few examples. Zinio, you can get magazines, current magazines, Men's Health, Cosmo, computer magazines, everything that you can think of on your devices and your computers, anywhere, anytime. Save them to your devices, and they're yours to keep. Find It Virginia. There are databases, news articles, reference things students can use for school. It's there. It's on the website. It's easy to use, and it's free. And there's another cool feature, Tumble Book Library, animated storybooks, puzzles, games, audiobooks, all for free in bright, shining color. I've noticed during the summer that we had some teens that were kind of bored, kind of held hostage. Well, they played a lot of basketball, and they always came in to get some water, and I said, hey, we've got these hostage students here, let's see what we can do for them. Well, I decided to start a Progress Points, I called it, little program, and they call me Mrs. D, and it's a good grade and volunteer hour competition for a mid-year iPod and an end-of-the-year iPod also. This summer, a group of boys, about 9 boys, helped move materials in preparation for our book sale, which is this Saturday, and helped rejuvenate the children's area, which is gorgeous. And we're looking for future partnering with Parks and Rec. And check out that children's area. Look at the bright display areas, the fluffy toys, the toys on the floor. Looks played in, it's increased usage, and with the facing out of the materials out of those plastic bags, increased checkouts. It's fun. It's a place that you want to go to. At every branch, I've put up some ready reference, brand new dictionaries, atlases, a thesaurus to help those writers out there, books of quotations. And then every branch also has a binder packed full of information like how to download things. Having trouble with your Kindle? Hey, just stop at the reference desk there at the front of every branch, or just give us a call and we can help you with your Kindle. We'll help you with your phone. Databases, having trouble with that Find It Virginia? Give us a call, we'll help you out. This summer we had, sponsored by the Library of Virginia, summer reading program. And this year it went a little differently. They instituted an online sign-up. So we had 48 people sign up throughout the system, and they logged over 80 hours of reading. And that is fantastic. Throughout the whole system, we had a total of 27 programs, some families, some children, some teens, and over 80 people participated. And the Library of Virginia sponsors a winter reading program. We're going to get those materials soon, and I'm going to start that. It's going to be in January and February at all the branches, and I'm going to get local businesses to help donate prizes. So there's going to be a big barrel, and if you're a reader, you don't have to do anything fancy. Just sign your name, read a book, put your name in the barrel, and you could win a prize. Got some great things for the children. Dogs, if your child is maybe a reluctant reader, maybe stumbles a little bit, well, we have programs that you can read aloud to a friendly dog. Look at that dog. Isn't he friendly? Crafts. We have games. And it's not only crafts for the children, because I'm starting a craft program. I'm going to be roving all the branches. Jewelry making is going to be in December. And then next year, we're really going to get into it. I've done decoupage, scrapbooking, crocheting. You name it, I've done it.
and I'm going to do it for the patrons. Now, I try to get our name out there for community events. Most recently, I went to the county fair. You may have noticed the table, and if you haven't noticed, I've started branding things so it looks nice and crisp and professional, and it pops. And just about 2 weeks ago, Caroline's promised the Day of the Young Child, I brought one of our local authors there, Carmen Long, and she had written a book called Thrifty Thelma and the 10-Cent Tiara. Well, brought it to the children, did a storytelling, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And we have a couple programs all set up, ready to go at all of our branches, because this is the primary function of the library as a community center, to be the place where you go to get the help you need. Tax time, AARP tax help. We're also going to hit, we're going to get all the branches involved. We're even going to have a day at Port Royal. It's a little smaller, but we're getting them in there. Every branch, I put up had them put up a bulletin board spotlighting the key deadlines and dates for the Affordable Care Act, some frequently asked questions. I made binders for every single branch, filled them full of frequently asked questions, answers, and additional short forms if some people that need to sign up but perhaps don't like to use the computer. I've got those forms printed out. You can just come on into the library and pick it up. And there are also, we're going to be getting some Enroll Virginia navigators coming to every branch, I'm hoping every branch, throughout the open enrollment march to get our patrons involved, get them signed up, get them comfortable. And these are certified people that will help them navigate the site. Of course, we keep our story times going, big and small. And it's not just the big, huge Ladysmith and Bowling Green with the big circulations, but I've made sure that Port Royal keeps up. I've gotten them a refurbished large print collection, a little career center, some DVDs, and bestsellers. Here's what's happening since I've been there in July. I've kept some stats. We have 299 new card members, 6,480 computer sessions, 17,248 items circulated. And to make sure that all our managers are up to speed on the latest and greatest, there are webinars and training sessions provided by the Library of Virginia, and we have managed, between the four of us, to do 22 sessions. In conclusion, I just want to say thank you, because all of this help for the community would be impossible without your support. So I honestly want to say thank you, and I'm so looking forward to the rest of my career here. Fabulous, free stuff, and I just want to say thank you.
Well, we'll do like the kids. Mrs. D, that was very good. And as you said, it just flew right by. Any questions? Board members have any questions? You did a great job. No questions.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you again.
But of course, I'm available for questions anytime. Anytime.
Anytime.
Well, I do have one question. You were talking about the sites that you visit. I think you said Miss Allison's daycare and...
That's the bookmobile, yes.
That's the bookmobile, okay. I guess my question is, I know that, and I haven't talked to them, so I don't know what their schedule is, but I know Round Oak Church has a preschool program in Round Oak that's pretty well attended. And would that be a site, if they could work you in, would that be a site you would consider?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just picked up a pencil. Could you say it one more time?
But it's Round Oak Baptist Church. They have a preschool, and I'm going to find out. I have not talked to them, but I know that they have a nice school, and they have a number of students there, preschool age students, and that might be something that they might be interested in if they know that it's a it's available. So.
Okay, I will talk to Sandy, and we will look at the schedule. I'll find some information tomorrow, and we'll see if we can't add them to the schedule.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty, we will move to appointments. IDA Port Royal, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, I will reappoint Mr. John Stoddard to the IDA board. As a matter of fact, I will move that he be reappointed.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Akers to appoint John Stoddard for the Port Royal IDA. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. And we had an at-large member. I don't have that in front of me.
Ray Radcliffe is at large.
And he still wants to serve. Mr. Wilson? Yes, sir. If you'd like to come to the mic, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Radcliffe has expressed a desire to continue to serve if it pleases the board.
Would someone like to make that motion? For
I'll
Mr.
make a
Radcliffe?
motion to reappoint Ray Radcliffe to the IDA board.
Thank you. Motion made by Mr. Seeley, seconded by, that was Mr. Akers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously. And we have the Building Code Board of Appeals for Reedy Church. Mr. Underwood?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to appoint Mr. Bob Harry to the Building Code Board of Appeals for representative for Reedy Church District.
Second.
Second.
Harry.
Bob Harry. Harry Plumbing. So the motion was made by Mr. Underwood, seconded by Mr. Seeley.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. And Bowling Green, Mr. Seeley.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to reappoint Mr. Craig Woodward to the Bowling Green, as the Bowling Green representative to the Building Code of Appeals.
And second is Mr. Akers. Discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. That motion too carries unanimously. So we've got the IDA, Building Code Board of Appeals, all appointments straight. All right, consent agenda, approval of warrants. Any questions? No big consent agenda. And the referral of text amendment for farm tenant structures. So any questions? Motion to approve consent agenda?
I'll make
So-
a motion,
I'm sorry.
I'll
Either
make a
or.
motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Please tell me there's something we can move up here. Is anybody from social services? Okay, let's talk about social services. Agenda item number, let's do number 7 first, because that's security, and that's like $2,000 or something like that.
4,000.
I thought the county payment was 2. All right, we're going to do agenda item number 7, which is the social services request for funding to reconfigure their front desk for improved security.
Mr. Chairman, just a note from the Social Services Board member from the Board of Supervisors. This is an item that we have talked about at the Social Services Board at length, and in this day and time, there is literally no way to stop anybody at that desk from coming over and getting behind the counter. We have had folks from the county come out and take a look and get estimates, and the Social Services Board feels this is a real necessity in this day and time.
And I know you've got an outstanding presentation to convince us to do this.
Well, actually,
Well, before you do though,
okay.
is it really necessary?
It's really,
No, is her presentation really necessary? Do we want to do this $4,000 security without a whole lot of discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I think it's something we need to do. I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve a request from the Department of Social Services for the appropriation of funds for the security improvements.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Seeley, seconded by Mr. Black, that we appropriate $4,232, and the state will pay us 26% of this back. Right? Is that what this says?
Actually, the total amount is $5,719. The county's share would be the 4,232.
Okay, so your motion is 4232. Your second's 4232?
Well, I think we have to spend the
We have to spend the whole
5719
thing.
first, and then we get reimbursed.
All right, so your motion's
That's
for the whole
correct.
thing?
For the whole thing.
Okay. And Mr. Black, seconds for the whole thing?
Yes.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. You did a great job on that presentation.
Well, thank you, sir.
Okay. Now we will move to agenda item number 6, which is you want to hire 2 additional social worker positions.
Yes, and I actually have brought several staff members that are going to say a few words as well.
Okay.
One is a little incapacitated. That is Ramonda Pollard. She's our family services supervisor, and the other is Garnet Blanton, who's one of our benefit program specialist supervisors. And we also have 2 of our CPS workers with us who are not actually speaking, but they're Erin Walsh and Jenny Ibanez, and our board chair, Ms. Lee Baisden.
If they want to come behind you and give
They're
you moral
just
support, that's
for moral support. As you know, we've talked many times, our cases have been increasing for about 6 years now due to the economy. On the benefit side, we really are seeing a leveling out. However, we have a number of situations that are impacting the cases. We currently are about to get anywhere from 275 to 300 cases. As a result of healthcare reform, the famous applications are coming back to the DSS agencies to process. Additionally, we don't have set numbers, but we are expecting as many as 1,350 additional Medicaid cases with the healthcare reform. Currently, we do have anywhere from 800 to 1,200 visitors to the agency a month. Those are all people that have to be seen at least by our receptionists and many times by our benefit program staff. We currently have approximately 6,500 benefit programs cases. We also had a new system implemented October 1st as a result of healthcare reform. This is a very non-user-friendly system. There are countless screens of data entry that we're not having to go through. We also are having to run 2 systems, and Ms. Blanton is going to get into a little more detail about that. We've also been asked to take online applications in our lobby. However, we don't have any staff people to assist the people with doing the applications. I've actually tried to do an application online myself just to know what our customers would experience, and it's not an easy process, and I consider myself fairly computer literate. On the service side, one of the first things I was asked to do when I was appointed acting director was to clean up the CPS mess we had. These ladies have done an outstanding job, as well as several others. We are now up to date on our CPS cases. However, we are not going to be able to maintain with the staff that we currently have. We had paid overtime, we gave comp time, and we had a temporary worker to help us clean up the mess. We are getting very, very severe CPS cases. There are substance abuse, children with bruises, children that have been battered, children with cigarette burns. We had one case where a child was choked and had to be hospitalized. All these types of cases require immediate investigation on our part, and what's more important is we have to continue to provide ongoing services to protect those children. As a result of us doing our jobs with CPS, we have now gotten 8 additional children into foster care, which is almost double what we had before. The 2 problem areas we're having with service programs are our VIEW and daycare. We are slowly working through the backlogs in those areas, but we do not have the staff to make a tremendous impact quickly on those. One thing that I want to point out about the VIEW program is our performance directly impacts our funding. And the state has the option of cutting 10% of our VIEW budget line item if we do not perform. Thus far, we have not taken that hit, but we are looking at a potential of a $15,000 decrease to one of our admin budget lines if we don't get our stats in order. Our staff is burnt out. They're stressed out just trying to maintain status quo. All of our supervisors carry a caseload, And that impacts the quality of our work because these supervisors need to be reviewing the work of our employees. We have a lot of new employees. They need to be checking their work and making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do, but instead they're carrying caseloads. Our staff is not taking much of their vacation time. We have a lot of long-term employees that are struggling to even get their leave balances down where they won't lose their vacation times, but they are that committed to keeping the work up to date that they are forfeiting vacation time to help us in this situation. When people take off, we have no backup. We asked the state for some advice on what we needed to do with our staffing, and they have a tool, and they asked us to put in our numbers, which we did. They are recommending our staff to be 35 of benefit program specialists and family services specialists. That does not count any of our clerical support staff. We currently would need 14 people to get up to that number. We are not asking you for 14 people. We are only asking for 2 at this time. The cost to, if we started in December 1st through the end of the fiscal year, would be $53,865 with a 74% local match, or $39,860. The annual funding to continue the positions is $92,340, and the local share of that is $68,332. Of concern to us also is we know Caroline County is continuing to grow, and as it grows, we're going to continue to have people coming into the agency for assistance. So the staffing is going to be an ongoing issue for us. And we hope that you will approve our request just to ensure the safety of the children, to make sure we don't have families going hungry or families going without medical care. And I'm first going to ask Ms. Blanton to talk a little bit about benefits, and then Ms. Pollard to talk about CPS. She's going to take a seat until you're ready. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to try not to clear my throat as I'm talking. Good evening. I have been with Department of Social Services a total of 11 years, and I've seen a lot of change implemented over the time that I have been a worker and now a supervisor. The Caroline Department of Social Services mission statement is to offer services in a respectful and compassionate manner to encourage self-sufficiency and promote family stability. We currently have 2 types of benefit workers. We have a benefit program specialist 2, and then we have benefit program specialist 3. Each specialist has certain duties and responsibilities when they are determining eligibility for benefit programs. Benefit program specialist 2 responsibilities are related to the redetermination of eligibility for individuals and families for financial assistance, the SNAP program, which is formerly known as food stamps, Medicaid, and TANF benefits. TANF is Temporary Assistance for Needy Family. It is our cash assistance program. The redetermination is performed within established policies, procedures, and guidelines. There are certain aspects of eligibility determination that require independent judgment. Air workers are trained to make sure that they look at all avenues with household composition, what their income situations are, what their resources are. A benefit program specialist 3 represents a more advanced level of the benefit group. These employees are assigned advanced technical functions and projects that require considerable knowledge of all program assistance functions, such as fraud and quality control case review. They conduct initial eligibility as well as ongoing eligibility, making sure that they follow policy, procedures, and guidelines when they're looking at household compositions. They also are to assist in looking at the work that Benefit Program Specialist 2 performs. With the new healthcare reform, the State of Virginia Department of Social Services began its use with the new system, which is VCAMS, to handle the processing of Medicaid applications. For those individuals that will not qualify for Medicaid, their applications will be forwarded to the health insurance marketplace. Our workers are now having to work on two different systems for eligibility determination. We have a system for our Medicaid, and we have a system for our SNAP and TANF. It is very time-consuming. It is not user-friendly, and we have not had a lot of state support.
Are those state systems?
They are, yes.
Okay.
I would say that they are state systems that were designed by the state of Virginia.
Right.
The funding actually came from the federal government as part of healthcare reform.
But if the new one is, but the older one was some sort of software package the state created.
Correct.
And said you have to use this.
Right.
Okay.
My biggest concern is that I can remember a time when, as an eligibility worker, we did more than just determine eligibility. We were able to help families, giving them and providing them with educational material that gives them the ability to become more self-sufficient and move towards family stability. At this time, I cannot say that we're able to give that to our clients any longer. We are struggling every day with the number of cases we have. I carry a caseload, and I'm not able to monitor cases as I should to ensure that we stay where we need to stay when we have quality control come in and evaluate our cases. Luckily, our county did very well in our last Medicaid review. We were probably one of the top people. And I'd like to see that continue. But we really do need more workers just to help manage the cases that we have now and the cases that we're going to continue to see. I think that's about all I have.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if you have any questions, but...
Well, since she got up, we'll hear from her, and then we'll ask questions later.
I don't want you guys to think that I'm the most dedicated worker in Caroline County Department of Social Services just because I'm in here with crutches. These ladies standing behind me are as dedicated as I am.
Well, if you're faking, it's a really good deal.
Ms. Tyree introduced me. I am the new supervisor for the Family Services Unit, Ramonda Pollard. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, and to the Board of Supervisors, Caroline County. The Family Services Unit's goal is to provide quality services and to ensure the safety and welfare of children and their families in Caroline County. As the population of this county continuously grows, so too are the number of complaints alleging abuse and neglect against children and adults. The Child Welfare League of America recommends the average caseload of a child welfare worker not to exceed 12. Our workers right now have an average of 21 cases. That's almost double what the recommendation from the Child Welfare League of America is. At the rate we're receiving valid complaints, last week we received 4. Our workers are only able to put out fires. Just today, they've expressed to me how stressed they are, how they feel like they're drowning, and how they have the desire to provide quality service, but they're not able to because of their current caseloads. The one program area that is receiving the most significant increase in the number of referrals and cases is our Child Protective Service Unit and CPS Ongoing. All of our workers provide intake, which means they stay in the office and they answer the phones and they take the complaints about abuse and neglect against children and adults. So they work on intake on a rotating basis, which takes them out of the field for the day. For CPS and APS complaints, that one intake could take up to an hour. If the referral is accepted, it then gets assigned to a CPS worker or an adult protective service worker. In CPS, depending on the severity of the abuse and neglect, The worker may have to respond immediately to the complaint. The initial response to the complaint could take the worker all day. The worker has to interview the victim children, the alleged abuser, any household members, and the worker must also make home visits. And you guys know how large this county is. That could take up to an hour to get to a house.